No one tells you in your 30s is when things begin to unlock and you really truly understand now what people meant when they said certain things and why you should have took advantage when you took advantage. Here are some hard truths that I've learned since my 30 plus years of living that I want to share. I'm hoping it will just inspire, help, and encourage you to take advantage. And even if you're older than 30, you still take advantage now more than ever. I even made a list because I wanted to make sure I hit the point, because I tend to run on just a little bit. So we want to make sure. That's a point even in itself. Wait, hold on. That's a point that I even think about until just now. Sometimes to keep track, you need to write it down, okay? Hard truth number one, write it down, make it plain so you can understand. Then look at that one I didn't even expect. So write it down, okay? Anything you're trying to do to keep yourself focused, to keep yourself on task, write it down. Next hard truth, you have to start over a lot more times than you think in your life. That is something that I never anticipated of. I honestly resisted starting all over because it just felt like a drag. It felt like I failed in life. It felt like it was unfair. It was unfair that I had to start all over, especially depending on your background, depending on where you're coming from. You feel like you're already in a losing place in life to begin with. It's like now you got to start from scratch. And this was something that happened to me several times. Like it happened to me in my fashion career as being a fashion designer. Like I started my line over so many times because I didn't have enough money. I didn't have enough resources. Like just it became such a never-ending cycle that it can be defeating. So understand that although it's tough, it's hard, you will get through it. But know for sure there will be many times in your life, hopefully less than others, that you will have to start all over. Next hard truth, sacrificing now for later. Baby, okay, I learned this from not only my own life, but entrepreneurs, from people around me. Like, it is so important. Like, I know a lot of people talk about the hustle culture is unhealthy, da, da, da. Yes, it is unhealthy. However, there's no such thing as work-life balance. There's no such thing as being able to do it all. Something's gonna fall from the wayside. Like let's be honest, you cannot juggle too many things at the same time. Your brain capability won't even be able to compute what you're trying to do when you're doing so many things. You're going to burn out eventually. So it's so important that you figure out what do you need to do and sacrifice it right now for later. So say for example, you are in your 20s and your friends like to hang out on the weekends and you're in school, or you want to start a business, or you want to get into a program which requires you to study, which requires you to dedicate your weekends because you work during the week. It's better for you to sacrifice now the time than later, because if you're constantly going out every weekend, constantly drinking, constantly partying, constantly ignoring your responsibilities, by the time you look up, 10 years have passed. You're going to be right where you were 10 years ago, and you're going to be mad at yourself for not doing what you were supposed to do. So yes, hustle culture can be a lot, but at the end of the day, hustle culture works because you don't have to hustle forever. It is a short time span. It may not feel like that, but it's a short time span where you have to dedicate your time, your mind, your whole being to this one project, to see the results of it, to now live the life that you want. And wouldn't you rather that? I'm sorry, but I'm a person where I'm not going on vacation if I got bills to pay. And I've known so many people do that. Yes, there is a way to live your life and experience your life even while you're chasing your dreams. But if it comes at a cost where you're spending more money than you should, and you're spending more time than you should on things that are fleeting, that things are just going to make you joyous for one moment, versus you coming back and now having to deal with bills, now having to deal with rent being due, now having to deal with studying and all that, it's not going to be worth it. Ask yourself, is it worth it? Like, be honest. Ask yourself, is that worth it? It's not half the time. It's never worth it. You're going to constantly beat yourself up because you went out instead of studying. Then when you get a F on the test, you're mad. Who are you mad at? The only person you could be mad at is you. Oh, my friends wanted to go out. So what? Your friends are not doing what you're doing. And if they call you flake, then they're not really your friends, because no friend will want you to fail a test. No friend is going to want you to call out of work to go hang out when that job is the way you pay your rent. No friend is going to want you to sacrifice to have fun when they know you have real responsibilities and real things going on. That's just the reality of the situation. Sacrifice now for later, because I'm telling you, when you see the fruits of your labor and you're able to relax, you're able to see, you're able to grow, you're able to do more because you sacrificed then, you will know that it's worth it, okay? If you read about any business, any entrepreneur, you will see how much they sacrifice in that right now to get where they are today. You cannot say you want something and not be willing to sacrifice. Unless you want to live a mediocre life, and there's nothing wrong with a mediocre life. There's nothing wrong with living a 9 to 5 and then enjoying your weekend. If that is your trajectory and what you want to do, go ahead and do it by all means. But if you are a person where you want a certain type of lifestyle, where you want to be able to do a certain thing, where you want just financial stability, then you will have to sacrifice now for later. Next hard truth, which goes into sacrificing now, you will have to make hard decisions in your life. If you want to change the directory of your life, if your life is not going the way you want it to go, you will have to make some hard decisions, and there's no way of avoiding them. There's the only way to avoid them is to not do them, and then you're still not where you want to be. So realistically, who is that benefiting? You will have to make hard decisions. Everybody at one point or another will have to make a hard decision in life. One of my hardest decision, I'm about to be very vulnerable. Oh God. One of my hardest decision to change my life was to check into a homeless shelter. That was so hard because I also had my daughter at the time, and I could not be where I was. I did not have a job. I couldn't afford to just be on the streets. I was not about to, I just really wasn't. I'm a researcher through and through, okay? This is probably why I like psychology, and I went back to school for psychology, which is another reason why I couldn't just be on the street, because I had just gotten into school and my daughter had just gotten into her daycare. So literally we were just starting things, and I found myself homeless. So I was just like, we got to do what we got to do. And I checked myself into a shelter because at the end of the day, I needed to be able to go to school. She needed to be able to go to school to get the help that she needed. It was not going to work if we was out in the streets. Who's living like that? I can't live like that. So I made that hard decision. Toughest decision I had to make in my entire life. And all of that allowed me to now be living in where I live today. And I am so grateful and happy. And I think sometimes we tend to not make the hard decisions because of our emotions and the right now factor, meaning we're living it right now, so we don't see the bigger picture at the end. We don't see the ending journey. In those moments is where you need to see the ending journey. And for me, my ending journey was being able to have a place to live. That's what made me walk into the shelter. Although I was going to be uncomfortable, I've remembered and reminded myself I will be uncomfortable for a little bit. This goes back into sacrificing now for later. I was going to be uncomfortable for a little bit, but in the long run, I knew I would be housed. I will have my own place. My daughter will have a good place to live if I go through this process. And I had other people who had already told me how they went through that process. One person in particular, and what it would be like and what I need to focus on and how I need to be when I'm there. From behavior to my time, all of that. All of those things led me to be able to not only finish school without debt, be able to have an apartment that is beautiful. My daughter is in a great school that's helping her for the things that she needs help on. And it wouldn't have never happened if I did not make that hard decision to check myself into the shelter system. And it was uncomfortable, it was unpleasant, but I remembered the long game. I remember that me doing this is going to open opportunities and doors for me to not only feel safe and my daughter have a place to lay her head in, but to help me change the course of my life. Because in that moment, my life was not going good. It was not going good. I was not where I wanted to be. I was in a bad environment. It was not helping. And how can you focus on school when where you live is causing you panic and anxiety, and just it was unhealthy? And not only that, you didn't know if you was even going to have the place because people didn't do what they were supposed to do. So at any point somebody would have knocked on the door and told y'all to leave. You will have to make hard decisions in your life if you want to change the trajectory of life, and you need to be okay with that. If you truly want to change your life, you need to be okay with that and understand it's only for a moment. It's not going to be forever. If you constantly tell yourself that, you will be able to make hard decisions easier and easier and easier. Because a lot of times it just be our emotions that make us scared and us overthinking about things and always going to the negative that makes us not want to do the hard decisions. But a lot of times the hard decision is what's going to shape and mold you as the person you're supposed to be in the near future. Which leads me to my next hard truth: education. Education will be the one thing that saves you no matter what the economy is like. The more skills you have, the more knowledge you have, can change your career in an instant. Do not be people who believe that school is stupid. Please, I'm sorry. No, school is not stupid, okay? It is just formatted in a way that makes it seem that only certain careers can do certain things. But if you decide to take education into your own hands, understand what it is. It is a tool. It is a tool to help you to move forward in life. You will be able to unlock doors like never before. Going back to school changed my life. I was able to not only learn about what I was learning about, but also understand the avenues and the careers and the different things that I could do with the degree that I was going to get. Not only that, it opened my mind to other things that I never even knew about that made me think, oh, maybe I want to go in this direction instead of this direction. I went to school for psychology, and that's where I learned about so many different programs. I got so many different scholarships because of it. I was able to literally not have to pay nothing for school. So don't let no one tell you education is a waste of time. Now understand that there are different levels of education and there is ways to do it. So like, for example, if you are a person or you're into cars, you might be better off going to a trade school, but that's still education. It's just education in your field and cut out all the whatever. Right? Be honest with yourself. Even if you have to take one class a semester, 2 classes a semester. I met a ton of people who were doing 2-3 classes a semester and working at the same time. Find what works for you, but do not negate education, okay? Knowledge is the one thing people cannot take from you. There's a reason why the jobs are set up the way they are. You got to play the game that's in front of you. The game is you need a degree. Go get a degree. What is it going to hurt you? What is it going to hurt you to have a degree and then do other things? It's like you're trying to play a regular game, but you haven't done the main things to start the game, to play the game. I'm not a gamer, so that's why my gaming metaphor was very basic. But literally, like, in order for you to play the game, you need the requirements. It's like when you level up. You can't go to the next level if you haven't hit the requirements of the game. That was a better analogy. That was better. So if our game is getting a job, and the game we know that we have to play is we have to have a degree, because damn near every job requires a degree, especially if you're trying to make real money, requires a degree. Just go get your degree and work your way up from that, because a lot of times while you're getting your degree, there will be job opportunities, internship opportunities. Take advantage of those things, because then you may not need to get the next degree. You might be just placed in a job just because you have the experience, because you took on an internship during your study. The next hard truth is understanding the value of $1. I know in my heart, as a society, we do not understand the value of $1 because of the way we spend money. And I think it goes into just like how we were brought up and how things have changed so much now, that a lot of times, because we're just seeing things, we don't really understand. But do you know, realistically speaking, if you wanted to buy a top and this top was $50, right? You would have to work 4 hours, and I'm talking about just a retail store. Like if you work at a retail store at $15 an hour, 15, that's 30? Yeah, that's $30. Plus another 15, that's $45. So you will have to work 3.5 hours. Don't come for my math either, okay? I did enough in math to pass. Don't come for me. You will have to work 3.5 hours to afford a $50 shirt. Would you want to actually buy that $50 shirt now that I broke that down? And it's not to say like you can't buy a $50 shirt, but you need to understand the value of $1 so you can spend more wisely. And then not only that, spend more wisely, but understand, oh snap, if I really want to live life, I need to make actual money. What do I need to do to make real money so I can sustain the life that I want to sustain? Because then you won't be spending money all willy-nilly. Then you won't be buying an iced latte every single day, and you don't make iced latte money every single day to be spending iced latte every single day. Now, nothing wrong with once a week or something, or it'd be a little treat after you finish a project, but every single day? I want you to do this exercise. Let me know in the comments if you end up doing it and what your total was. I want you to, for 3 days, I was about to say a week, but I'm gonna give you 3 days. For 3 days, I want you to write down every single thing you spend your money on, and then total it at the end of the day, and then let me know what that total was for each day and the 3 days. You can either do 3 days and tell me the total of all the 3 days together, or you could do individual days. And let me know what it made you realize after you did that exercise. Because this is the thing, when we don't know where our money is going, we don't physically write it down, we keep spending until a bill comes and we realize, we ain't got no money to pay that bill until an emergency happened, and we ain't got money to get us out of the emergency. Understanding the value of the dollar will allow you to not only know how to spend money, and this is the thing, we all learn, we all make mistakes, but it will allow you to be more aware of your money, aware how you're spending it, and understand that life is life, emergency happens, and we need to be saving our money as well, so that if things happen, we have cash we can get right away to take care of whatever it is we need to take care of. So learn the value of a dollar. Next hard truth: everybody is not your friend. 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 You will lose friends in every season of your life. That's okay. But understand that everybody is not your friend. Everybody is not your friend. Co-worker is not your friend. Schoolmate might not be your friend. Everybody's not your friend. What does friendship mean to you? Figure that out, and understand that every friend is not the same type of friend, and this is why you need to, this might sound harsh, but compartmentalize. I hate that word so much. Compartmentalize your friendships and understand this might be the friend to do this with, this might be the friend to do that with. It'd be nice to have a friend that everything is, but honestly, you're not supposed to put all of your everything on one person. That's in a way kind of like a burden. So you really want to prioritize different things when it comes to friendships and understand what friendship means to you. But know that everybody's not your friend, and that is okay. Sometimes you are meant to meet people for that week, for that month, while you're at that job. Once it's over, it's over. You don't have to take everybody you meet along your life, through your life with you, okay? Like, some people have to be left by the wayside. That's okay. A lot of times we try to hold on to people who was never meant to hold on to, not realizing that sometimes some people are holding us back and we need to let them go. Sorry, not sorry, but there are people holding you back right now that you were supposed to get rid of, but you're still holding on to them because of familiarity. It's time to let go. Everybody is not your friend, and that is okay. And also be wary of people who want to be your friends for the wrong reasons, or want to be around you for the wrong reasons. You need to start understanding the red flags and seeing what triggering behaviors that happen, because if you have somebody who constantly like berates you or like say sick comments like, oh my god, that bag is so cute, I didn't even think it would be cute on you, that's not your friend. That's not your friend. Okay, next hard truth: you need to take care of your body. You can go and work out any way you like. You can take any workout classes you could like. You could just pick any exercise. It doesn't matter. Just move your body. You need to take care of your body, because one thing's for certain, two things for sure, I have learned in my lifetime of having my body, is that the body, although it's strong, it is weak, and it takes literally less than a second for something to happen and you are out of commission. You are bedridden. Okay, I had a pinched nerve right here in the summertime that took me out. It shot pain from here all the way to my pinky. I was not able to move my arm for about a month, and even after that month, it was very much, I could not lift anything more than 5 pounds and I would be hurting. So please, 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 it doesn't have to be anything strenuous. You could just go for a walk. You could do a little yoga, a HIIT class, or a kickboxing class, ballet, dance. You could do anything. Just move your body. Stretch in the morning. Taking care of your body is so important, because I'm telling you now, do not wait for something to happen and that's when you want to appreciate your body. You will be upset at yourself. Do not wait for something bad to happen. Take care of your body now. Going into the next hard truth is, you are only single once in your life. Take advantage of your singlehood. Singlehood is a gift and not a curse, and you should be embracing it. And it's a hard truth because a lot of us don't want to hear it. A lot of us are very much, I want to be in a relationship, especially nowadays. And with social media and all of that, you know, couples goals, we see the cutesy. That's fine and dandy. That will happen for you in its time. But until then, you should be utilizing this time to pour into you. When are you ever going to get another chance in life where you are single and childless to move just because you want to move to another state and start your life all over, to get the car you want, to try different careers out because you want to try different careers out, to dye your hair, to change your wardrobe, to do whatever it is you want to do? Like, yes, some of those might sound silly, but think about it. When you're in a relationship, especially being a woman, you're a nurturer, you're constantly thinking and considering the other person. This is the one time in life, the only person you consider is yourself. Is yourself. This is the time where you can make the most money, where you can travel, where you could try different careers. Like I said, you could do whatever. You could do it all. You could turn around and do it again. You could move back to your parents' house, get 2 jobs, save mad money, buy a house. You can do whatever you want. Take advantage of your singlehood. Stop looking to it as a curse. Yes, will you have moments where you're lonely? Of course you will. You're human. but your emotions are fleeting. They change all the time. A lot of times all you need to do is go on TikTok, find a funny video, and you laughing. You're not worried about you being lonely. You laughing. Get to the point of your singlehood where you know you're good, where you are confident, where you are feeling like you could do it all and then some. Because when you start to date, you will immediately be like, okay, this is not what I want. Okay, this is not what I want. Okay, this is not what I want. Now, of course, you're going to be human. You're going to have your moments. You might let somebody slide here and there. That's fine. But you'll have more times to figure out how to get out of a situation before you get too deep into it. Because you've had that time to really enjoy your singlehood. You've had that time to really figure out who you are and what you like. Allow yourself to do hobbies. Hobbies will open you up to communities. And you know, if anything, you'll end up finding your person in the community. And you don't have to worry about if their ambition is like yours because they was in a community that you enjoyed. If it's a running club, if it's a sculpting class, whatever the case may be, you'll be able to find somebody that enjoys the things you enjoy. And then you could go from there. But if you are single right now, you're not taking advantage, I plead you, stop trying to force a relationship and start learning about yourself. Start evaluating what you want out of life. Start trying new things. This is the perfect time. The hard decisions is what shapes and molds your character, becoming a better version of yourself in the end.